Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon. Also brought to you by on the Mike Wagner Show, Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? The holidays are coming, and what better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809. That's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide, Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at themikewagnershow.com. And also the Amazon.com/Me and Molson Zia store for great books, merchandise, and a lot more. Go to Amazon.com/Me and Molson Zia. And don't forget to support us on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you donate generously today. We're here with a terrific singer, songwriter, multi-talented out of Portland, Oregon. He's a chamber folk innovator and the son of an acting coach and therapist, and worked several years in 2 continents. And he's just got amazing talent out there. He's also had release on Spotify and other streaming platforms. First Times, Yours to Take, and also Corvallis and In the Flesh. And he's got a new album out, Drunk Little Guy, and we'll talk more about that. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon, the multi-talented chamber folk innovator, singer-songwriter, very multi-talented, Noah Kite. Noah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on board, Noah. So you're a chamber folk innovator from Portland, Oregon. You're the son of an acting coach and therapist. You worked several years in 2 continents, which is amazing. You also got some music previously on Spotify and other platforms like First Time, Yours to Take, Corvallis, and In the Flesh. And we'll also have a brand new album out called Drunk Little Guy. We'll talk more about that. And before we get into all that, Noah, tell us how you first got started.
Writing music. I was in quite a few bands throughout my teens, playing lead guitar, and kind of got fed up with the lack of motivation and drive, and started writing my own stuff, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. And I've always, thanks to my father's influence, really enjoyed classical music. He used to play anything from Steely Dan to Ravel in the house. And so that timbre, that instrumentation just has always moved me much more so than just like guitar-driven music. So I started looking for that. Violin, cello, current ensemble is upright bass, cello, oboe, and jazz percussion, complementing my guitar and voice. And so I've been doing that for about a decade with a rotating cast of musicians. Yeah, as you mentioned, spent some time teaching English in France, played some shows over there, actually toured through Europe a couple times, mostly in Italy, but also in Germany and Belgium. Just trying to experience as much of the world as I can and then translate that into the music I make.
That's really interesting, too. You've been to France, Germany, and Italy, and all these places. What was your favorite country to visit and play, and why?
Well, I mean, Europe as a whole appreciates music and art in general, I feel, more so than the United States. That from the budgets their government sets aside to support the arts to just the way in which people attend to the art form or listening to you in a space is, not categorically different, but it's on another level. When it comes to a specific country that appreciate the most and that I enjoyed playing in the most, they each have their pros and cons. Italy's quite lovely. When I was touring there, it was a lot of like for instance, we played in San Gimignano, which is just a small kind of castle outcropping on a hilltop that really is just known for the dick measuring contest that is the series of towers that all the rich people in the neighboring countrysides erected to kind of show off their wealth. So being able to play in those spaces was quite incredible, and the way in which the general Italian populace enjoyed music and attended to a concert was quite nice. I don't know, Belgium was quite cool too. The amount of support in that country was outstanding. In fact, I'm going to be touring there again in May next year. Wanted to go back sooner, but you know how it goes these days.
Of course, with the Delta variant and whatever else, could be possible lockdown or head over there before they start shutting it down as well, too. You mentioned something earlier about, having these, certain countries with governments funding a certain amount of dollars for the arts and people to attend and everything else. How does that differ with the way the United States, does these things when it comes to music?
I mean, from my experience, there's not a lot of financial support. It just feels like so much more of a grind over here. While I was touring over there, I mean, I met a fair number of expats, American ones that specifically came over because the government does subsidize that sort of stuff, and somewhat generously depending on the country. And here, that's like unheard of. It's just the cultural differences, the way in which Europeans have a sense of camaraderie that it's more palpable, and they really clearly care about themselves and understand like the more rich and enriching parts of humanity. I don't want to like obviously portray America poorly, but it's a little more money driven and cutthroat over here in a way that I don't enjoy as much, for sure.
You also got some music on Spotify as well, too. We'll talk more about that. And you being a chamber folk innovator, and tell us how you first got involved with the chamber, and tell us, how you first got involved going that route, being a chamber folk innovator.
Album on Spotify currently is the self-titled record I cut right after getting back, almost right after getting back from teaching in France. That has several different tunes that you mentioned, In the Flesh. Corvallis is actually off of the new record. There's one in particular, Charlie Weekly, that's a perfect example of how living in a foreign country really started to reshape my mentality. That one is actually about the Charlie Hebdo attacks, because I was in France right around when, and actually living about 30 minutes away from where those attacks took place. If you remember when they shot up the satirical rag Charlie Hebdo, because they were depicting the Prophet Muhammad. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do remember that, and I think that was, what was it about? I remember that story. What was it like? Last year, 3 years, 5 years?
This is like 2015, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2016.
2015, 16. That had to be about 5-6 years ago. I think I remember somewhere along those lines. It didn't get a lot of publicity here in the States, but I caught a glimpse of it, and I said to myself, "Oh my gosh, it's like, what's going on over there?"
Yeah, no, and it was a huge tragedy to the French. They were calling it their 9/11, which some Americans might be like, haha, that's absurd, but the way in which they appreciate and value intellectual rights and the free speech, you can kind of see it from their eyes if you understand those things a little bit better and appreciate them a little bit more. But the really interesting thing was, like, while I was teaching over there, just the contrast of opinions from the way in which the French were taking it extremely hard, and the way in which the Muslim population at the time was, some of them were agreeing with it, some of them, I had to teach some of the children who were like parroting what their parents were saying, that the cartoonists got what they deserved, stuff like that, and just processing all of that. And it's a good tune, and it sums it up pretty succinctly. More to your point about how I got into chamber folk, I mean, really it was that influence of my father, just having like a very eclectic taste, from Steely Dan to Ravel to also like Sade, and what else? It was like the big three that really seeped into my consciousness, and just, you can imagine the contrast between like Steely Dan and Ravel.
And of course, make sure they don't lose their number peg. You gotta say that. So, and also too, besides the ones you've mentioned, who are some other favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up besides those three?
Growing up, I mean, I went through all the typical phases. Definitely had a hardcore punk rock phase, anywhere from the Dead Kennedys to the Ramones. Had a metal phase, as any good musician, sampled all the genres. But the things that really speak to me now, I mean, like the musicians that I think are doing it right now, Big Thief and Adrian Lenker, they're just, it's so damn good. Who else? Godspeed You Black Emperor, and obviously Sufjan Stevens has been doing the chamber folk thing for as long as I can remember, as long as it's been a genre. Pretty sure he pioneered it for the most part.
That sounds rather interesting. We'll talk about your music, First Times, Yours to Take, In the Flesh, and your new release, Drunk Low Guy, in just 1 minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson Zia has garnered great reviews and even endorsed by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by a picture of this photo books where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809. That's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bring your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. And check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to check the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at themikewagnershow.com and also on Amazon under the Mike Wagner Show podcast. Check out the great books by Mia Molson Zia and great merchandise at amazon.com/Mia Molson Zia. And don't forget to donate generously to the MikeWagnerShow.com. Click on donate. Also, donate generously to Anchor FM/support and PayPal. Make sure you do so today. We're here with chamber folk innovator, singer, songwriter, multi-talented Noah Kite from Portland, Oregon, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And let's talk about some of your music you have before we talk about your new album, Drunk Little Guy. You had First Times, Years to Take, In the Flesh. And tell us more about those songs and what inspired you to write them.
Yeah, so all of those tunes are off of the same self-titled record that came out in 2017. Let's see, you named First Times, Yours to Take, and what was the other one? In the Flesh? In the Flesh is actually a good one. That one showcases, I made the silly mistake of thinking I could sustain a long-distance relationship while teaching for an entire year in France. And the way in which it kind of peters out when you try to support it digitally through FaceTime calls and phone calls and email.
Right.
First Times is about... I haven't played these in a while. First Times actually isn't actually... That's a video, First Times. That's not on Spotify, and that is actually Carrion Birds now. That one, that's a funny one, actually. That one's comes from an era where when I got back from teaching English in France, one of the first jobs I got was as a program leader at Arowana Outdoor School. I don't know if you have a similar offering where you are an analog, but here we have Outdoor School, which is essentially 6th graders get 5 days out in the woods with some program leaders at a camp. They get to experience myriad outdoor activities, from different information and stuff about water to the science of bird flight to how different layers of soil work, a lot of different stuff. And it's pretty interesting experiences working with that company and with, as you could imagine, anybody you spend 24/6 with. There's some conflict and some interesting emotional interplay that can be mined for musical nuggets.
That's really interesting. And how about some of your other music that's out there right now that has been mentioned? And feel free to talk about those.
Point me at one, and I'll tell you about it.
Okay, let me see if I could try to find it here. So I'm going to check out right now. So we got that. Let's see. So okay, I'm just checking right here as well too. And before we talk about that, maybe you can talk about just a little bit about Drunk Little Guy, just very briefly, or I talk about a little bit about your music, and tell us very quickly about Drunk Little Guy.
Yeah, so that's the forthcoming record. that was unfortunately birthed in the throes of this fucking pandemic. We had plans to do it all live with a fantastic producer here in town named Sebastian Rogers. And then we had everything dialed in. We were about to start in like mid-March, early April 2020. And then obviously the pandemic hit everybody, and we had to adapt. And so we spent a good month in June tracking it piece by piece and getting it together. And I've just been preparing to release it, and I thought this pocket right here, everybody's getting vaccinated, would be just like the superb moment. Like, we're all coming back. It's this sense of community, this connection. We all coming out and finally having a moment where we can, after like a year plus of not being able to congregate really without the fear of catching something terrible, this would be the best time to do that. And yeah, not so confident anymore, but it's coming out one way or the other, September 3rd, and it's an amazing record. The last one I did, I really love it. It's got a lot of arrangements that are dear to my heart, and a lot of interesting timbres and musical aspects that I got to put into it. But this one is much more distilled, much more, don't want to say easily digested, but it's much more concentrated in a way that's just I really appreciate. And Sebastian Rogers really helped dial that in too.
That's really interesting. And I just got on Spotify. You also have, just finally dug it up. We got Lucifer, we got Above the Falls, Gold Out. We already talked about In the Flesh, By the Hand, and maybe tell us a bit about those songs and what inspired to write them.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit more about Drunk Little Guy, since that's what's coming up next. We can discuss those a little bit later, but Drunk Little Guy.
Oh, that's fine. Sorry, or maybe just touch on briefly some of those songs and what inspired to write most of your music.
Oh, that's a good question. In general, the inspiration for most of these things is just personal tragedy. Nothing flings me at my guitar like some interpersonal strife and some heartbreak. I gotta say, it's the best way to process emotions, and I think it's the best for everybody, because not only do you come out of it a little clearer and a little more feeling understood and a little more, interpersonally together, but also you've got something that also can offer the same thing, if you did it right, that is, to everybody else. So they can feel identity, and they can feel heard, and they can feel understood in maybe a way that they weren't able to sit down for hours in the room and pluck out on a guitar. So for instance, let's see, Above the Falls, that's a great one. It's one of my favorites in terms of arrangement. That one showcases how a friendship just gets so hard when it's two egos that refuse to budge, and how kind of petty and silly it is when you indulge that lesser human aspect. What else? Lucifer is just a beautiful collection of a lot of different aspects of my partner at the time, and some of the darker sides, and how superficial qualities reflected deeper personal aspects, I believe.
That sounds rather interesting, what you have as well, too, based on your life and experiences and whatever else. And we'll be talking more about Drunk Little Guy and some of their songs in just a minute. Where can we find all your music in the meantime?
So if you go to Bandcamp and search Noah Kite, NOAHKITE, you'll find all my current music. Also under the same name, my website, noahkite.com. Any Googling of those two words, biblical and something attached to a string floating in the air, will take you to most of what I've done. In fact, on the Bandcamp, there's for pre-order Drunk Little Guy ready to go now, and you can sample 2 tunes off of it, I believe.
That's certainly amazing. We'll talk more about Drunk Little Guy, the title track, and some of the tracks in just a minute with Noah Kite. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's The of Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order during the Christmas season. We'll be back with the multi-talented chamber folk innovator Noah Kite from Portland, Oregon after this time out. This edition of the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're back with singer, songwriter, multi-talented chamber folk innovator from Portland, Oregon, Noah Kite here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about some of his music. He's son of an acting coach and therapist, worked several years in 2 continents. Also, has got some music on Spotify, including First Times, Yours to Take, In the Flesh, and a lot more, and most of his debut release. And let's talk about your album, Drunk Little Guy, which is coming out very soon as well, too, and also out right now in some areas. And let's talk about some of these on your album, like the title track, Carry on Birds, Hair Ties, Our Friends, and maybe tell us about the title track and a few of the songs from the release.
So the track from which the album takes its name, Drunk Little Guy, is one of my favorites. That's why it got the name. It also has the most humanity in it, because it's essentially showcasing a moment at which one realizes a friendship that you really wanted to work is totally untenable, and you gotta let it go for myriad reasons. And I think the lyrics express it pretty succinctly and clearly. Yeah, that one's quite lovely. Carrion Birds, we already discussed earlier. That's actually the one that First Times is a earlier iteration of. Hair Ties is a beautiful depiction, in my mind, of just the moments at which you realize a relationship has leveled off and plateaued, where you finally reached a stage where maybe you're seeing each other regularly, and the initial bump of oxytocin has kind of simmered, and you're left with just the trappings of somebody who's kind of there, but kind of not entirely into it. Mm-hmm. Hence the title, Hair Ties. Food in the fridge, she's got me now, son of a bitch.
Food in the fridge, son of a bitch? Guys, you're making me hungry already. Why'd you have to say that?
Oh, yeah. And then Our Friends, that's kind of, at least the choruses are a little bit of a philosophical exercise in the way in which we segment personality. it's just moment to moment how we can change based on the people we're interacting with, or what we're experiencing, and what we're intending in every moment, instead of just one kind of broad brush of this person is like this, for a bit more nuanced view. And that song definitely delves into it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you also got some others like Our Friends, Despite All This, Take Me to Your Room, Right Again, and of course you got the Corvallis and Shoreline, and maybe just hit upon some of those, and also the fact that just what else you base and everything else, just maybe a few more songs to talk about off of Drunk Little Guy.
Yeah, sure. So Take Me to Your Room also has an earlier iteration. It's quite old, but I wanted to revitalize that one because it's actually what connected me to a lot of people while I was traveling around Europe. I remember distinctly I'd been in Belgium, specifically Antwerp, for a couple weeks, and it was, St. Patrick's Day, and the people I was staying with had gone to bed, and I still wanted to work on music, so I was out in the streets wandering around with a dinky little beater guitar playing that. And some field hockey players strolled past and were just like, "Whoa, this is amazing, play that again." And I did, and not only did they applaud, but people had come out of their apartments and were into it. And so then the field hockey players proceeded to take me from bar to bar, buying me drinks and essentially being their organ grinder monkey, playing that song again and again and again. And I got very, very, very drunk and had a very, very good time with those folks. And literally from that point on, I would just be out there playing music and meeting people. And I met so many people from so many different walks of life. I got to know that city and most of the people in it. Well, not most of the people in it, but a fair number of them pretty well by the time I left. And I have a lot of fondness for Belgium in general, but specifically the Flemish region in Antwerp in particular.
Huh, that's amazing. And you got out and sang in the middle of the night. I'm surprised nobody, came out and said, "Shut up or turn that down," like they do in the States. Like, they wake up, exactly. It's like, "Oh my gosh, I want to hear this." Go back to sleep. Nah.
Yeah, no, it's the kind of, as you pointed out, well, it showcases the appreciation. It wasn't like 3 a.m, but it was definitely getting kind of late. And instead of people complaining, they were like, "Wow, I'm gonna experience a new experience, and it sounds good. I'm gonna engage with it," as opposed to be like, "This is not what I want right now," and shut it down. It was quite nice. So yeah, Take Me to Your Room. It used to be called something else, but Take Me to Your Room is a little, on the record at least, a fleshed out version of that little singer-songwriter ditty that spoke to so many Europeans circa 2013, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, that is amazing. And where can we find Drunk Little Guy at? And especially all your music, especially Drunk Little Guy, where can we find that?
So it's going to be out September 3rd on Spotify and iTunes and wherever you get your tunes these days. You can pre-order it now on Bandcamp if you just search Noah Kite. And it, in fact, gives you for free, just right there, actually the 2 ones I already mentioned. You can listen to Take Me to Your Room and Drunk Little Guy back to back. And then pre-order the album if you enjoy what I am offering, which I think you might, considering the wealth of talent that is on this record. Like, for instance, the upright bassist we work with, and has been working with me for at least 3 or 4 years now. He's the principal bassist of the Oregon Symphony. I'm unfortunately going to lose him probably shortly to Sweden because they pay much better and there's not enough old money in this town to support the arts.
I hear you.
Once again, showcases the same issue. With Europe versus United States and art. His name's Colin Corner. He's literally one of the best bassists in town. He blows my mind every time I get the honor of playing with him. Esme Schwall is a very talented cellist and a master of prose. What she does on the side, not on the side, what she does in conjunction with this as a ghostwriter is incredible. Laura Gershman, she's the oboist / English horn, which, just in case anybody's picturing a French horn in their mind, that's the circular kind of wrap-aroundy brass one, and the English horn is the long, weird bell-shaped one that you might think would conjure a snake, possibly. It's essentially the baritone version of an oboe, just FYI. And she is adept at playing both of those. She's incredibly talented with both of those double reed instruments. And then Alan Cook is just like the best drummer I've ever met. And every time we play, there's always two people that come up and go, "You're my new favorite drummer," because there's two kinds of jazz percussionists. You've got the dude who's very technical and straight and likes to hit them skins exactly, and then you've got the guy who shows up with a tote bag with like a bunt pan and a bow and like a saw blade and like these African bells that he found once and like a jar, because the timbres of each one of them are like so specific and his ears are so tuned that he knows exactly what he wants, and he can use them so effectively for their rich, more eclectic sound. And he's definitely in the latter category, and he uses so many cool sounds that complement a chamber folk atmosphere. It's almost like having a rhythm, a timpani, and a rhythm section to an orchestra rather than just a jazz percussionist. And that's why I love working with him, among other reasons.
That's fascinating. I have to get some of those and work it myself. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
We're here with a singer, songwriter, multi-talented chamber folk innovator from Portland, Oregon, Noah Kite, here on the Mike Wagner Show, talking about Drunk Low Guy, and love to have you back, and like to talk more in 2021 and beyond about some updates. And speaking of updates, Noah, what can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Noah?
Well, we'll have that release show on September 3rd. Unless Delta destroys my hopes and dreams, there'll be shows following that. Working on another record. At this point, I've got another wealth of sorrowful tunes ready to go. Just need to sit down with the group and hammer out some details and record them. So probably a release in 2022, as well as that tour that's coming up through Belgium. That'll be May of 2022. Those are exciting tidbits. Probably some music videos as well, if I'm being honest. There's a good chunk of things that will be coming your way if you follow.
And looking forward as well too, Noah. That's going to be amazing. Yeah. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
That's a good question. Biggest influence in my career. I'm going to pull the Bruce Springsteen on you and say my mom. She's such a great supporter of what I do, and loves everything. Well, not everything. She definitely is capable of being critical of what I do when it matters, and I think that's really important in a maternal figure, being able to give oodles of support, but knowing when to push their kid just a little bit. And she's very good at giving me some good feedback about performance and presentation and really connecting with the songs. It can get kind of difficult to play the same thing over and over again, but because of all her acting experience and her teaching acting experience, she's very good at kind of helping me reconnect with the true core of each tune whenever I need to present them to people. So yeah, my mom, she the best. Barbara Kite.
That is so terrific. I love it, love it, love it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
About
in general. In
general?
Yes.
I think I don't know about anybody else, but that report that came out about climate change a few days ago just got me real low. Just like Mad Max apocalypse. Here we come. Let's do this thing. Gather all the guns here. Hit the road. But I think that would be the worst mistake. I think losing hope at this point and just giving into a individualistic, everybody for themselves attitude is exactly what we don't want right now. Mm-hmm. And pushing into community as much as we can, even with COVID variants on the horizon, is what we need. We need more community. We need more love. We need more connection. Mm-hmm. And keeping the faith and working on connecting with people as hard as it may be in this era.
Mm-hmm. And totally understandable as well, too. Once again, chamber folk innovator from Portland, Oregon, singer, songwriter, multi-talented Noah Kite here on the Mike Wagner Show with Drunk Low Guy. Noah, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch and also update as well, too. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase or check out your music?
You bet. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You can find me, Noah Kite, Noahkite, either on Bandcamp or my website, noahkite.com, Spotify, iTunes. These will all yield a Noah Kite, and I don't think there's anybody else like me or with that name. So you are good to find my music and enjoy the heck out of it.
We certainly will do so. Once again, Noah, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. You've been absolutely terrific, and we definitely wish you all the best.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Picture this photo books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Preserving memories, keeping the memories of your loved ones alive as they reach in and touch your heart. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whether it's a gift of past holidays, grandma's recipes, long ago moments, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. Once again, that's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.